what do anime, Charles Dickens, and beer all have in common? The dog's nose. The Dog's Nose is a weird one. It's a beer and gin-based cocktail that was recorded in one of Charles Dickens' most famous works, then somehow found its way into one of my favorite anime, Bartender. Bartender follows Ryu Sasakura, who is essentially the Mother Teresa of bartending. I did a full video on Bartender where I made some of the more well-known cocktails, including the classic Bijou. You can find it in the playlist down in the description. Now for this one we take a hard turn through Europe from Russia, the home of our previous weird cocktail, the Nikolashka, to the UK, home of the Dog's Nose. Before I get into the history, if you like the video, or by God you learn a little something, consider giving the video a like and subscribing. It really helps me out. Now, on to the history. The Dog's Nose and the Nikolashka both trace their roots back to the 19th century, and it's likely no coincidence that both of these cocktails ended up in an anime about Japanese bartending. During the 19th century, Japan was going through a period called the Meiji Restoration, a time of great prosperity. During that time, they sent out ambassadors to gather bits and pieces of other cultures. Some of the things that they came back with were cocktails, and since then, Japan has been sort of a time capsule of classic bartending, especially in Ginza, where Bartender takes place. Now, in recent years, this has started to change in bars outside of Ginza, but that's a story for another day. Back to the Dog's Nose, no one really knows who created it. I mean, it is just beer and gin mixed together after all, but it is very closely associated with and forever cemented in history by Charles Dickens in one of his most best-selling works, The Pickwick Papers. You thought I was going to say A Christmas Carol, didn't you? Not that I know any of his other works. In his book, the drink is brought up by a preacher raging against the evils of alcohol as the drink that ruined the lives of the Walker family, whose father drank 2 a week for 20 years, which doesn't seem that bad, but let's see if it ruins my life before I make that call. So to do that, we'll have to refer to the recipe in the book that describes it as warm porter, moist sugar, gin, and nutmeg. I don't love how it describes itself as warm and moist, but it is accurate for the time period. This drink was created before refrigeration, so it's pretty common to see drinks served warm like this. Okay, so the first thing that I want to say about this is that the grated nutmeg absolutely killed the beautiful head I had on this beer. It's like staring into the abyss now. Nothing in there but black and my own reflection. It's not bad. It's basically just a sweet porter. The gin is really lost in here. Would it be better if it was cold? No, I don't think it would. Because the issue here isn't temperature. It's just balance of flavors. Like, I just taste porter. I'm drinking porter with extra steps. Porter. With that, I can check the Dog's Nose off my list of cocktails to try, but let me know down in the comments if it made it onto your list of drinks to try. And if you want to see me make more drinks from Bartender, check out the playlist down in the description because frankly, I can't shut up about it. But for today, it is time for me to shut up. So with that, I will let you go and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.